Hello everyone, my name's Jack. Welcome back to the Red Path. Angron remains a trap. We're going to be looking at some of the new stratagems previewed in the Warhammer Plus Battle Report today. Okay, and we're back. So, Dara, some of the stratagems that we have seen in Warhammer Plus today, or yesterday now, 2 days ago. I don't know when this is coming out. Time is
We're all recording on the same day.
Time is an illusion.
But we're staggering our release so we maximize our clicks. And you know what? That's a great time to plug. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord where you can talk about these things with us in real time rather than the magic of time travel. There should be a link in the video description. It's great.
We are professionals. This is amazing.
Awesome.
Okay. So I'm just going to breeze straight through some of the stratagems, and then we'll have a bit of discussion about them afterwards. Which ones we think are strong, which ones we think are interesting, all that good stuff. So first up, familiar friend, 1 CP, Scorn of Sorcery, 4 up to 9, 24-inch range from any World Eaters unit. Great.
Revolutionary. It worked in 8th, it'll work in 9th, and by God, it'll work through 10th.
50% of the time, it works every time.
Keep it going.
Okay, next up, 1 CP, Icon of Wrath, familiar name. It's icon keyword blocked, and at the moment, we think that's probably just Berserkers if you pay for the icon. And it's basically a 3d6 charge, drop the lowest. Again, pretty standard across some other armies. Nothing too revolutionary, but it's builds in some reliability for some of those longer deep strike charges. Number 3, again, 1 CP, Gory Dismemberment. This is a pretty good one because
I like the name.
It is core or character locked. So I just want you to bear in mind that Angron can use this before I run you through it. 6 to wounds, do 1 mortal wound in addition to other damage. Capped at 6. That's pretty good for 1 CP on Angron. Maybe.
It's wildly good on characters. Yeah. Master of Executions comes to mind.
Yep.
Allow me to continue spinning out mortal wounds. Yeah, but he's not the pick, right? Because you can kite some of that too early with the hit rolls, right? But I think it's wildly good on characters. It's just wildly good. Like, let's be real.
Next up, this can be 1 or 2 CP, and I'll explain why in a second. Blood Frenzy. Core locked, so Berserker's Terminators, possibly 8 bound, but we that's unconfirmed. Fight on death if not already fought in the phase. So the fairly standard wording for the fight on death. The different costs: 1 CP for troops, Berserkers, 2 CP otherwise, so Terminators.
Yeah, I really like how it's cheaper on the unit that you want to use it on.
Yes.
Most.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a great one.
It's so good. Yeah, it's. Fight Undead is a shitty mechanic, but hey, I guess we have it.
We got to fucking get mileage out.
Yeah.
So next up, again, another one that is 1 or 2 CP. Skulls for the Skull Throwing. Familiar name, very different effects now. So previously, Skulls for the Skull Throwing was when you kill a character in combat with a character, you get D3 command points back. This is very different. There are 2 bullet points to this, and it's 1 CP for one of them or 2 CP for both. It's character locked still, which is fine. So you gain 2 blood type points. Bear in mind, when you kill a character, you get 2 blood type points anyway, assuming they're the first character you kill in that phase. And then the second bullet point is +1 to advance and charge on that character until the end of the game. You use it when a World Eater's character has killed the enemy warlord in melee combat.
Oh, I missed that it had to be specifically the warlord.
It is the warlord. So very situational, but still pretty strong, because it can make the enemy warlord worth 4 blood type points.
Yeah.
Also make a character faster for the rest of the game. So it depends on the character, but like.
Yeah, it's kind of in a sense, it's the same as the old one, in which you'll use it when it comes up, probably.
Yes, for sure. And I mean, on something like Angron, with the blood type mechanic that we have gone into in a previous video through the Magic of Time Travel, that could make Angron's res a 7-inch charge.
Yeah, which is interesting. Like that's kind of where
there might be play.
That's the relevant play for wanting to actually spend it on the extra movements.
Yeah, it's It is.
Yeah, most of the time I think you're just getting more blood type points, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You have to get to the enemy character, the warlord and stuff like
that. I just did a quick check there, and interestingly, because of the 3d6 charge with the icon one, the jackals can actually also take an icon.
Yes.
So they would also be able to get a 3d6 charge.
If you wanted to do that, yes.
I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea.
No, it's not necessarily.
Dreadclaw them in first turn, 3d6 charge, get some blood type points. Fair. It depends how hard they can hit, and we'll never know because they died fast in the Warhammer Plus report.
We're going off track, but the Dreadclaw's worth 2 blood type points as well. So it's a 6-wing vehicle.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
You could suicide play lots of things in the first turn with the drop pod, is what we're saying. Mm-hmm. I'm going to convert mine, that's going in the box. Anyway, we're getting off track. Next one, this will hurt everyone involved. It is Terminator or 8-bound locked. It costs 2.
Tell me the name. Just rip the band-aid off.
It costs 2 CP, and it's called Red Butchers.
Sad.
It is very sad. The effect of this is you use it in fight phase, and it gives the unit +1 damage for the phase.
Good.
Pretty good.
It is good. I just wish they called it something else. Like, don't solve the wound.
Don't twist that knife. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes Terminators with the Cursed Weapons 2 damage, which is pretty nice in some armies, Marines. And it makes 8-bound 3 damage, which is nice into certain other armies, Death Guard or Custodes.
Yeah, and like as far as I can see, I suppose we don't know necessarily how many, but we can assume it's 1 per 5. Like Terminators can still bring chain fists, right?
Yes.
Or power fists. Yeah. I actually really like the idea of 3 damage power fists. Yeah. And hello, Custodes.
Well, and the Exalted 8-bound champion, potentially unconfirmed, can take 2 chain fists, and that puts it up to damage 3, which this would put up to damage 4.
Yeah, which is nice. But it's interesting because for the first time in a long time, I would actually consider Terminators with not accursed weapons. I'd be like, actually, you know what? Power fists are pretty good, and chain fists are definitely good.
I think it facilitates us hitting some quite nice damage points that we otherwise won't necessarily have access to. So I think as much as it hurts, and people will be determined to hate it as a stratagem because of what it used to be, I think it's quite strong. 2 CP, I always like sort of sharp intake of breath at 2 CP strats, but I think it's probably worth.
Yeah, I think when we get so much like stratagem-worthy benefits from the blood ties, spending CP feels less bad now.
Yeah, for sure. And then the last one we have is core units. So again, Terminators, Berserkers, possibly 8-bound. It's 1 CP. It's called Aggressive Intervention, and it is a 6-inch heroic intervention. So get fucked, Space Wolves.
That's really good. Yeah, really strong, as we know.
It's the threat of it more than necessarily the actual using of it. The threat of it is really strong.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are the stratagems that we have seen. They are not necessarily the be all and end all of stratagems. No. There is more there than the leak said we would have, so that's nice.
And slightly different as well, I think.
Yeah, quite a few of them are different. But hey, who knew that leaks could be wrong? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so shall we dive into actually discussing them rather than reading them out to the wonderful people and sharing our thoughts?
Yeah, so I'll just, because we also only saw 1 relic, I'll just chuck that in there as well, and we can discuss that as well. So we saw 1 relic as well in the back rep. It was on the base Lord on Juggernaut, and it's called Berserker Glaive. Familiar name.
Iconic.
It used to give a 5-up shrug and be a slightly better power axe, right? Now, I believe the stat line is the same. So it's strength +2, AP 3, damage 2, which is nice. It replaces an Exalted Chainblade, which you have to imagine is a damage 2 version of Berserker Chainblade, or an Axe of Dismemberment. So Master of Executions can take it. And
yeah, if you're crazy, you can put that on him.
Wow. Wow. The effect of the weapon, aside from the stat line, is double exploding 6s to hit.
Yeah, I'd rather have my 6s do mortal wounds though. So I think it's really good on the General Lord though.
Yes, makes him quite killing.
Is he the only guy who can take it?
Exalted Chainblade might be an option. Oh, we don't have a Lord, do we? Yeah, that probably is.
Yeah, he's probably the only guy. Okay.
Fine.
Well.
Okay.
I guess he's not like you can put it on the Mo if you're feeling stupid.
You heard it first. If you put Berserk Glaive on a Master of Executions, you are stupid. Dara.
I mean, you are. Like, let's be real.
Okay, let's dive in then. What stands out to you from the strats in particular?
I mean, quite a lot stand out, I would say. Like, the Scorn is boring and has always been there. And Skulls is a little bit meh.
It's
But
situational, yeah.
those two are like the only ones that I'm like, and they're not bad. Like, they're average, but the rest of them are incredibly powerful, I would say. Um, the standouts for me, I think.
If you had to pick one as a standout, what
It's,
would it
it's
be?
very hard to pick one because they're all situational in some respect. But
I
the
have
6-inch
I have
heroic
one.
is ridiculously potent.
Yeah.
Like, if you've ever played custodes in a competitive setting, the fear of the custodes coming into you on like your go turn, it's really scary. So,
Yeah.
but equally, fight on death is the other vibe, right?
That's the one that I
Yeah.
like. It's it one of
So
the
why not
one.
both?
Yeah.
Why not
In a
heroic
way.
into someone?
I mean, the thing is, they're only one CP each on the things you're probably going to want to use them on,
Yeah,
which
they're
is
they're
amazing.
very they're very
Makes
cheap,
it
and
very
when you
very
consider
cheap.
getting a lot of like common use stratagems like Wealth Fury and stuff baked into Blood Tithe,
Yeah.
these niche ones become really attractive.
Yeah. So for me, the implication of Blood Frenzy, the fight on death, is the things we are vulnerable to, most vulnerable to as a melee army, fight last and interrupts, and that negates it, or at least negates it in a meaningful sense because it means we don't have to be afraid of sending like 2 units in at once because it's going to get interrupted because we just fucking blood frenzy it. And it means it may actually mean a departure from our like cowabunga turn because we don't need to send everything in at once and we just know we're going to lose a unit on an interrupt.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
like
It's adding layers of flexibility and choice to us, which is really good. I think like those two as like I suppose reactive stratagems because they're both reactive stratagems. They're really good. Like into the combat matchup, like you say, I think they're probably going to be some of the most useful ones that are there. However, some of the other ones are incredible. Like the Gory Dismemberment is wildly good on probably most, if not all, characters that we have access to, and its core as well, I believe.
Khorne
Yes.
characters, yeah, Khorne characters.
So like anything that spits out mortal wounds, you're almost guaranteed to get the max number of mortal wounds on most of the things that you will play it on. I would
With the
say,
volume we have, yeah, and then
yeah. Like if you want to put it on Angron, he is guaranteed to get those.
to get 6 more wins, yeah. Which I think helps with. I mean, we'll get into his rules a bit more, but it's been previewed as well, which will help against him not ignoring invulns if he can.
Yes, it will. Yeah,
Guarantee
and it will
keeping his
pip
6
him
more wins.
over that like that dodgy position that you're in, where it's like maybe he doesn't kill a knight. Like now he will kill the knight, right? So like incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
And just being able to run a squad of
He
berserkers.
probably does kill a knight, right?
No, I worked it out today. It's like it's very on the nose. Like statistically, he should do it by like 1 or 2 wounds.
he's 13 attacks on the charge with our.
Oh, if you sorry, I worked this out before I knew he got the extra attack in the charge. So yeah, he
13
probably
attacks.
overkill by like 5 wounds in that case.
14, is he? Is he strength 9?
14.
Strength
Yeah.
15 with the +1 strength as well from the Legion trait.
Yeah, irrelevant for knights though.
Yeah, so it'll be threes, twos to hit, threes to wounds. They won't get a save against -4, and then it's D3+3, is it?
D3+3, yeah.
For a smash. So, and he has 13 attacks.
Yeah.
So,
The thing is, if it's any of the Imperial Knights that have invulns, it's dicey.
well, this is what I mean. Is you don't have to worry as much, right? Because
Yeah,
you have.
they should push it through. Yeah, it should push it through.
Necessarily do 6 more wounds on the smash because it's only
No.
13 attacks, but then maybe you go for the sweep, and we can probably do the maths on that because that's only one down.
Yeah.
But it's 30. It'll be 39 attacks from one guy.
See, the thing is, there's so much variability then in terms of like, but what blood type abilities are up on him, etc., etc. Right? So I think this is also going to be really nice on squads of berserkers. This makes 5-man squads really attractive because before where you're like, oh, cool, those 5-man squads might not necessarily kill X, Y, and Z. Now you're like, well, I'll better make sure they do, and they will. Like you'll floor custodes with that stratagem, which is nice.
Get fucked, Harlequins.
Yeah, we can do it too, and it's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one's lovely.
So I mean, obviously, as we say, then like all of these, just they're obviously Scorn is a bit boring, but that's because we've had it before. Most of the rest of them are new and exciting.
Yeah.
Skulls for the Skull Throne. Obviously, as we said, we'll play it when it comes up, like we do now. The rest, like Red Butcher, is an unfortunate name for that strat, but it is good. Like it hits some really.
It is, yeah. Like
that we don't normally get to for damage.
Like we said, it crosses the weapons on the Terminator specifically into really interesting damage thresholds, I think. And we haven't even talked about the icon of Wrath, which is like so potent, right?
Yeah, it makes
so potent.
Deep strike first turn deep strike charges, or just deep strike charges in general on berserkers. So drills, dreadclaws, drill gang is strong.
Strategic reserve, which is free now.
Strat reserve, which is free now. It remains to be seen exactly which units get icon. At the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if it was only jackals and berserkers.
I think so. Historically, Terminators have not had access to them because if they did, wow, wow, that would be good.
Baby.
Yeah, but I think it's like it makes drill gang even better, right?
Yes, for sure.
Like, ooh. Yeah, it's really good. Really, really good. Because if you think about how it combos with Blood Tide as well, like you pop up, you've got a 3d6 plus 1. Well, 3d6 dropping the lowest, right? Yeah. Plus 1 on the Berserkers, and then the drill is an 8-inch as well.
Yeah.
Yep. I'd take that.
Okay. So, obviously, we've talked about the strats we've got. Again, probably similar to Blood Tithe. I wouldn't necessarily expect these to be all of them. I'd expect maybe a couple more for the main army, and then obviously we've got all of the ones for the Army of Renown that is supposedly coming, the Disciples of the Red Angel. So
who knows, right? Yeah, like that opens up a whole other door of choice. But like already, I'm like, damn it, I would find it hard to not use some of these ones, right? Yeah. They seem really good, and it reads to me that a lot of these stratagems are kind of patching over the holes, the weaknesses that our army was exposed to before, like we'll say aggressive combat armies, fight last, all these other things. And it doesn't necessarily patch it over completely, which is good because we have to be vulnerable to something, right?
But it makes it far less feels bad though, right?
Exactly, yeah. Like the Custodes game is going to be hilarious now because it's just going to be this weird Mexican standoff being like, who's going to move? Yeah. And then who's going to heroic? Then you're going to fight on death, aren't you?
It's going to be great.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
very excited for how it changes gameplay for us.
I am too. I think it's gonna you know what this does? A lot of those stratagems pushes the skill ceiling up. Yeah. Because how you use things like that heroic intervention, that's a difficult thing to get right, I think, you know.
For sure.
So yeah, fascinating stuff.
Cool. Do you want to take us out this time?
No problem. Yeah, so it's been a good one. It's been a fun one. In tomorrow's video, we are probably going to be talking about units, I think. Units and their abilities. Yeah. And then, yeah, so hope it's been a fun one. Like I said, you know, join the Discord where you can hop in and have proper chats. If you really love these videos, why not become a Patreon and support us for no extra content, but you help keep us alive. But yeah, come hang out with us in Discord and let's talk about all these stratagems and list ideas, because I feel like people are going to be splurging out lists now, and they're completely right too. So until next time, folks, stay healthy, stay safe, and kill main burn.